I hope you don't mind, but I've prepared a few notes for this video because the topic is very important and I wanted to lay out my thoughts in a very constructive manner. One of the biggest challenges facing our country is the erosion and constant assault of our basic freedoms. Without that foundation laid out by our founding documents, all other challenges are mere nails in the coffin of a great country. We have slowly given away civil liberties and individual privacy through legislation such as the Patriot Act and NDAA. The siege on the Second Amendment, facilitated by media agenda, fear and emotion has reached a new fervor in light of recent shooting events at the Century Movie Theater in Aurora, Colorado, the Clackamas Town Center near Happy Valley, Oregon, and the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. Every law-abiding gun owner in this country grieves at the unnecessary and senseless loss of life by these tragedies. That said, every American should grieve at the threat of losing yet another right, rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States. In particular, the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Our local, federal, and state officials were sent to their office to represent the people and to carry out the people's business. In pursuit of that endeavor, they take an oath of office, and I quote, "To support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to bear faith and allegiance to the same, and to take the obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, to faithfully discharge the duties of the office, so help me God." That said, now is the time to pray for our elected officials on the local, state, and federal level, and provide them the encouragement and support to do the right thing during very difficult times. Thankfully, on 27 April 1995, Senator Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat from the great state of California, spoke out in defense of the Second Amendment while testifying on the topic of terrorism during the U.S. Senate hearing held shortly after the very tragic Oklahoma City bombing. During that hearing, she referenced the importance of a concealed carry permit. She had obtained a permit and training to carry a personal defense gun during the 1970s. She cited the need to protect herself from threats, stating, and I quote, "I know the sense of helplessness that people feel. I know the urge to arm yourself because that's what I did. I was trained in firearms. I walked to the hospital when my husband was sick. I carried a concealed weapon, and I made the determination if somebody was going to try and take me out, I was going to take them with me." End quote. I would argue while physical firearm ownership is important, the very real importance is the very freedom and liberty that gun ownership represents as outlined and guaranteed in the Constitution. Please take time to pen a letter in your own handwriting to express your thoughts on the Second Amendment. Address these letters to your local, state, and federal officials. Please remember that our elected officials work for us, and to do their job effectively, they need to hear your voice. If they do not represent the people's will, then it is truly our own fault for not only electing them in the first place, but also for failing to provide the voice they need.
About terrorism, because less than 20 years ago, I was the target of a terrorist group. It was the New World Liberation Front. They blew up power stations and put a bomb at my home when my husband was dying of cancer. And the bomb was set to detonate around 2 o'clock in the morning. but it was a construction explosive that doesn't detonate when it drops below freezing. It doesn't usually freeze in San Francisco, but on this night it dropped below freezing and the bomb didn't detonate. I was very lucky, but I thought of what might have happened. Later, this same group shot out all the windows of my home, and I know the sense of helplessness that people feel. I know the urge to arm yourself, because that's what I did. I was trained in firearms. I'd walk to the hospital when my husband was sick. I carried a concealed weapon. I made the determination that if somebody was going to try to take me out, I was going to take them with me.